You've worked hard your entire life, raising families, building careers, and weathering countless storms. Now, in these golden years, don't you deserve to enjoy every possible moment of health and vitality? Picture yourself on the porch swing, watching the sunset without pain or worry. Yet so many seniors unknowingly sabotage their longevity. Have you ever noticed how your everyday routines might be slowly undermining your well-being? I understand because I've been there too. These habits become comfortable routines, invisible parts of our day. But today, I'm going to show you what research reveals about healthy aging and how simple changes can still make a remarkable difference. What if I told you your brain is either growing or shrinking right now based on what you did this morning? This isn't just a figure of speech. Modern brain imaging techniques have revealed something remarkable about our brains as we age. They physically change in response to how we use them or don't use them. When neuroscientists examine the aging brain, they see something fascinating. In seniors who regularly take on new mental challenges, brain scans show increased thickness in the cerebral cortex and hippocampus regions critical for memory and learning. The opposite happens when minds remain unstimulated. These same regions literally shrink, with measurable volume loss appearing in as little as 6 months of mental inactivity. The problem emerges around age 65, when many settle into comfortable routines. Your daily crosswords, familiar morning walks, and household budgeting no longer challenge your brain. Neurologists call this cognitive coasting, when activities become automatic and require minimal mental effort, creating perfect conditions for accelerated brain aging. Building on these brain imaging insights, research by Dr. Denise Park at the University of Texas deepened our understanding of how new challenges fortify neural pathways. Her study tracked seniors engaged in different mental activities and challenged conventional wisdom about brain games. Traditional puzzles like crosswords and Sudoku provided minimal protection against cognitive decline. What truly strengthened the brain was learning entirely new skills. Digital photography, taking an online art class, quilting unfamiliar languages or musical instruments. These activities force the creation of fresh neural pathways rather than using existing ones. Much like a muscle that weakens without varied exercise, your brain requires diverse challenges to maintain strength. Mental stagnation affects your entire body, triggering inflammatory responses similar to those caused by physical stress. This inflammation impacts your heart, immune system, and digestive tract, with your brain and body constantly communicating throughout the aging process. What protects us is cognitive reserve, essentially a savings account for your brain. Every new learning experience makes deposits into this account. Later in life, if illness damages brain tissue, those with higher cognitive reserve can compensate using alternative neural pathways. This explains why some people with physical signs of Alzheimer's never develop symptoms. The most powerful daily habit for building this reserve is surprisingly simple. A landmark study, following over 3,000 seniors, found that reading new material for 30 minutes daily, especially on unfamiliar topics, reduced dementia risk by 32%. This practice strengthens connections between different brain regions by creating fresh neural connections. It's like building a complex road network rather than driving the same highway daily. The most effective approach involves reading material slightly outside your comfort zone, topics that make you think and occasionally struggle with new concepts. This productive struggle builds cognitive strength, creating measurable changes in brain structure within weeks. Did you know loneliness can be as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day? This isn't an exaggeration, but a finding from research at Brigham Young University that shocked the medical community. For many seniors, retirement becomes the beginning of a quiet crisis that few discuss openly. Think about it. Retirement often means leaving behind decades of workplace relationships. Those daily conversations with co-workers, lunch meetings, and collaborative projects suddenly disappear. Your social circle naturally shrinks. The workplace provided income, purpose, and belonging that isn't easily replaced. Without intentional effort, meaningful human connections begin to fade. When you experience prolonged loneliness, your body enters a state of physiological distress. Scientists at the University of Chicago discovered that social isolation triggers inflammation throughout your body. Your blood pressure rises while stress hormones like cortisol flood your system. Your immune function weakens significantly, accelerating the aging process at every level. A landmark study from the University of California followed two groups of seniors for 10 years. The differences in health outcomes were striking. Those experiencing chronic loneliness showed a 45% higher risk of mortality. They developed cardiovascular problems at twice the rate. Their cognitive decline accelerated measurably. Regular social interaction is as essential to health as proper nutrition or physical activity. The recent pandemic created a perfect storm for senior isolation. Necessary safety measures kept many older adults physically separated from loved ones for months. What began as temporary precautions evolved into entrenched habits of withdrawal. These patterns, once established, can be surprisingly difficult to break. Technology offers both help and harm. Video calls with family members genuinely benefit mental health. However, passive scrolling through social media often worsens loneliness. Studies show that watching others' curated lives without authentic interaction increases feelings of isolation. But there is hope. By reconnecting with our communities, we can literally rewire our health. Take Margaret, 72, who joined a gardening club after her husband passed away. Within 6 months, her doctor noted improved blood pressure, better sleep patterns, and reduced anxiety medication needs. Her story isn't unique. Research from UCLA discovered that social isolation alters gene expression in ways that accelerate aging. Yet across the world's blue zones, regions where people routinely live past 100, we see one consistent social pattern: regular participation in community groups. Seniors who meet regularly with others experience a remarkable 40% reduction in dementia risk. This protection exceeds what our best medications can currently provide. In Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, and Loma Linda, California, social connection is woven into daily life. Meals are shared, celebrations are communal, work often continues into advanced age, but always with a social component. No one ages alone. The remarkable longevity in these communities comes from combining regular human connection with specific daily routines, creating a powerful formula for living longer and better. What if the secret to living to 100 isn't found in a pill bottle, but in the daily habits of specific communities around the world? For over 20 years, researchers have been studying regions called blue zones, where people routinely live past 100 in remarkable health. These special places, Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, Nicoya in Costa Rica, Icaria in Greece, and Loma Linda in California, share surprising similarities despite their cultural differences. The contrast between American seniors and Blue Zone centenarians reveals fundamental lifestyle differences. Many Americans wake up, sit for breakfast, drive to activities, watch television, and sleep in comfortable beds. Movement happens in scheduled blocks, if at all. We consume processed foods throughout extended waking hours and often retire completely from work. Blue Zone elders follow a different pattern. Movement weaves naturally through their entire day. They garden for hours into their 90s, walk to visit friends rather than driving, knead bread by hand, and climb hills as part of normal life. This constant, gentle activity maintains strength without straining joints or heart. In Blue Zones, every movement connects to purpose, building resilient bodies and fulfilled minds. The Okinawans call it ikigai, a reason to wake up each morning. Older adults maintain meaningful roles in their families and communities. A 102-year-old tends a garden that feeds her family. A 97-year-old creates traditional crafts preserving cultural heritage. This ongoing purpose creates psychological well-being that influences physical health. The food patterns in these regions emphasize what researchers call a plant slant. About 95% of their diet comes from plant sources, with beans and greens taking center stage. Meat appears only about 5 times monthly in small portions. Processed foods, refined sugars and dairy rarely enter their kitchens. Family meals are sacred rituals, eaten slowly and shared with others. These communities naturally practice time-restricted eating, consuming all food within an 8 to 10 hour window daily. Their last meal typically comes in late afternoon, followed by a 14 to 16 hour period when bodies focus on cellular repair rather than digestion. This fasting period activates autophagy, where cells clear damaged components and regenerate. Research shows this pattern improves mitochondrial function, stabilizes blood sugar, reduces inflammation, and enhances sleep quality. In some blue zones, moderate alcohol consumption plays a role. Sardinians drink 1 to 2 glasses of antioxidant-rich Cannonau wine daily, always with food in social settings. This practice appears beneficial when balanced with other healthy habits. What's most beautiful about the Blue Zone approach is these aren't punishing regimens. These communities enjoy rich, flavorful foods, maintain close relationships, find daily purpose, and move their bodies in natural ways. Their longevity comes from living in harmony with their body's natural rhythms. The habits of Blue Zone centenarians show that healthy aging maintains the capacity to engage fully with life, to taste, touch, connect, contribute, and find joy each day. The science reveals something powerful about aging. Well, your daily choices matter more than your genes. When you challenge your mind with new ideas, nurture meaningful connections, and move your body naturally, you change how your cells function at a fundamental level. It's truly never too late, like Martha, 87, who started daily walks and weekly book club meetings last year. Within months, her doctor noted improved mobility and cognitive function. Research confirms even 85-year-olds experience measurable health improvements when adopting these habits. Your body wants to heal and strengthen at any age. What small step might you take today? Imagine the difference it will make. Your future is crafted by the choices you make today. Stay blessed, my friend.